Sarah sat in her car outside her empty house, staring at the foreclosure notice. 23 years of marriage, gone. Her successful therapy practice, dissolved. Her health, shattered by chronic anxiety. All because she was nice. Because she said yes when her body screamed no. Because she smiled while her husband drained their accounts for his business ventures. Because she took on every client who needed just a little more time to pay. Because she kept quiet when her boundaries were crossed. Again and again and again. You know this feeling, don't you? That moment when you're saying yes while your stomach tightens, when you're smiling through gritted teeth, when you're putting everyone else's oxygen mask on first and you're slowly suffocating. Your brain is literally rewiring itself with every nice response, every time you suppress your truth, every moment you choose others over yourself. Here's what's happening in your brain right now. Every time you say yes when you mean no, your anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain responsible for emotional regulation, fires up. Your amygdala, the fear center, activates. Cortisol floods your system. Your body is screaming danger, but your conditioning whispers, be nice. This isn't just psychology, it's neurobiology. I've worked with thousands of women across the globe, and they all share the same pattern, the same neural pathway of nice, the same addiction to approval, the same fear of being too much or not enough. And they're all suffering from what I call the nice woman syndrome, a condition where your brain is literally wired to prioritize others' needs over your own survival. But here's the thing about neural pathways. They can be rewired. The same neuroplasticity that created this pattern can break it. The same quantum field that holds you in this pattern of nice can launch you into a new reality of power. Today, you're going to learn exactly how to make that shift. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now, in this room. Sarah's story doesn't end in that car, and neither does yours. The moment she understood what I'm about to share with you, everything changed. Are you ready to change your brain, change your energy, and change your life? Because that's exactly what we're going to do. Let me tell you what's happening in your brain right now. Every time you smile and nod when you want to scream no, your brain is running a program so deeply embedded that it feels like your personality. But it's not your personality, it's your biology working against you. Think about the last time you said yes to something you didn't want to do. Maybe it was taking on extra work when you were already overwhelmed. Maybe it was lending money you couldn't afford to spare. Maybe it was watching your neighbor's kids when you desperately needed rest. In that moment, your brain released a tiny hit of dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. Good girl, your brain whispered. You're being nice, you're being loved, you're safe. But here's what's really happening. Your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, your body's stress response system, is working overtime. Every time you override your authentic response to be nice, you're flooding your system with cortisol and adrenaline. Your body is literally in a state of emergency, but you become so used to it that it feels normal. I had a student in one of my advanced workshops. Let's call her Maria. She was a high-powered executive who came to me with chronic fatigue syndrome. Her blood work showed cortisol levels through the roof. Her heart rate variability, a key indicator of stress, was dangerously low. When we mapped her brain, we saw constant beta wave activity, the signature of a brain that never rests. All because she was addicted to being nice. You see, every time you abandon yourself to please others, you're strengthening neural pathways of submission. Your brain is literally being rewired to prioritize others' needs over your survival. It's like you're creating a superhighway of nice in your neural network, while the pathways to your authentic power become overgrown and unused. But here's where it gets interesting and where your power lies. Your brain is producing a cocktail of chemicals that's keeping you addicted to approval. Every time someone smiles at you for being agreeable, you get a hit of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Every time you avoid conflict by saying yes, You get a surge of serotonin, the satisfaction chemical. You're literally getting high on being nice. This is why simply deciding to change doesn't work. You're not just fighting against habits or social conditioning. You're fighting against your own brain chemistry. You're addicted to a chemical state that's slowly destroying you. Just like any addiction, it feels impossible to break free. But unlike other addictions, society rewards you for this one. They call you sweet, helpful, a team player. They don't see the toll it's taking on your nervous system, your immune system, your very life force. The good news? Once you understand this biology, you can begin to change it. Your brain's neuroplasticity, its ability to form new neural connections, is the key to your freedom. And in a moment, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this knowledge to break free from the biology of nice. This isn't just your pattern, it's your mother's pattern, your grandmother's pattern, your great-grandmother's pattern. In fact, when we look at your DNA, we can see the markers of generational trauma, of centuries of women being conditioned to be nice at the cost of their own survival. So, and I want you to think about your mother for a moment. Remember how she always put everyone else first, how she smiled through her pain, how she made herself small to make others comfortable. That wasn't just her personality, that was her genes speaking. Those same genes are in your body right now, sending signals to your cells, creating patterns in your behavior. In my research lab, we've studied the epigenetic markers of trauma and conditioning. These are like little switches on your DNA that get turned on or off based on your ancestors' experiences. When your great-grandmother had to be quiet to survive, when your grandmother had to be agreeable to keep her job, when your mother had to be nice to maintain her marriage, each of these experiences left a mark on your genetic code. I had a participant in one of my advanced workshops, a brilliant surgeon named Rebecca. She couldn't understand why she kept sabotaging her career by taking on everyone else's responsibilities. During our intensive work, she discovered that her grandmother, who raised her, had survived the Great Depression by being useful to everyone in her community. That pattern of survival through cells was literally encoded in Rebecca's cells. But here's the revolutionary truth. You can change these patterns. Your genes are not your destiny. Through specific meditation techniques and conscious choice making, you can literally change how your genes express themselves. You can turn off the nice woman program that's been running in your family line for generations. So we've seen this in our brain scans. When women in our workshops begin to break these patterns, their genetic expression actually changes. The markers of stress and trauma start to shift. New neural pathways form. The body begins to produce different chemicals. It's like watching centuries of conditioning dissolve in real time. This is what I call genetic liberation. The moment when you consciously step out of your ancestral patterns and create a new template for the women who will come after you. You're not just changing your life, you're changing your genetic legacy. Being nice isn't just costing you your peace of mind, it's costing you your life force. Let me show you exactly what happens in your body, your career, your relationships, your bank account when you choose nice over authentic power. Remember Sarah from earlier? Before her wake-up call in that car, her body was keeping a detailed ledger of every time she chose nice over authentic. Her immune system was the first to pay the price. Every suppressed no weakened her natural defenses. Her thyroid slowed down. Her adrenal glands were exhausted. Her digestive system was in chaos. By the time she came to my workshop, she had 6 different autoimmune conditions, all because her body carried the burden of her niceness. But it's not just your health. Look at your career right now. How many times have you stayed late because you couldn't say no? How many promotions have gone to someone else because you were too nice to showcase your achievements? How many of your ideas have been stolen because you were too nice to claim credit? The average woman loses $500,000 over her lifetime just by being too nice to negotiate her salary. Think about that. $500,000 sacrificed on the altar of niceness. Let's talk about your relationships. You think being nice makes people love you more. Let me tell you what's really happening. Every time you abandon yourself to please someone else, you train them to devalue you. It's basic neuroscience. What gets rewarded gets repeated. When you're nice instead of authentic, you're teaching others that your boundaries don't matter. Your truth doesn't matter. And your energy? That's the biggest price of all. Your energy field, the electromagnetic signature of your being, becomes depleted with every inauthentic yes. We can measure this. In our lab, we use sophisticated equipment to measure the energy field around the body. When someone is living in their authentic power, their field is strong, coherent, expansive. But when someone is stuck in the nice pattern, their field becomes weak, scattered, full of holes. I worked with a woman, a high-level executive in Silicon Valley. She came to me because she was experiencing what doctors called inexplicable fatigue. But when we measured her energy field, there was nothing inexplicable about it. Every time she said yes to another project she didn't want, every time she stayed quiet in meetings when she should have spoken up, every time she took on someone else's responsibilities, her energy field contracted. By the end of each day, she had nothing left. She was literally giving away her life force in the name of being nice. This is the real price of nice. It's not just your time, your money, or your health. It's your vital life force. It's your power. It's your potential. It's everything you could be, but aren't because you're too busy being nice. Now you understand the price of nice, but how do you actually change? This is where the magic of neuroscience meets the quantum field. Your brain might be wired for nice right now, but you're about to learn how to rewire it for power. Let me show you what's happening in your brain right now. Every thought you think, every reaction you have travels along neural pathways, like highways in your brain. The nice response you've practiced for years, that's like a superhighway, wide, smooth, automatic. When someone asks you for something, your brain automatically takes that highway because it's the path of least resistance. But here's the revolutionary truth. You can build new highways. Your brain is constantly changing, constantly creating new neural connections. And this is called neuroplasticity, and it's your ticket to freedom. Every time you choose a different response, every time you say no instead of yes, every time you speak your truth instead of staying quiet, you're laying down new neural pathways. In our lab, we've actually watched this happen in real time. Using advanced brain imaging technology, we can see new neural connections forming when someone makes a different choice. It's like watching liberation happen at the cellular level. Let me tell you about Lisa, one of our workshop participants. For 40 years, her brain was wired to say yes to every demand. When we first mapped her brain, the neural pathways of people-pleasing were so strong they looked like fiber optic cables. But watch what happened when we taught her to do what I'm about to teach you. First, we showed her how to recognize the moment of choice, that split second between stimulus and response. This awareness actually activates your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for executive function. It's like turning on the lights in a dark room. Then we taught her how to interrupt the automatic nice response. This creates what neuroscientists call a pattern interrupt. It's like putting up a roadblock on that superhighway of nice. This interruption creates a space, a quantum moment where new possibilities exist. But here's where it gets really interesting. In quantum physics, we know that all possibilities exist simultaneously until we make an observation. Your brain works the same way. In that moment of pattern interrupt, all possible responses exist simultaneously. You're literally accessing the quantum field of infinite possibilities. When you combine this understanding with specific meditation techniques, something extraordinary happens. Your brain begins to form new neural networks based not on past conditioning, but on future possibilities. We call this installing the future you. You're not just breaking old patterns, you're literally creating new neural architecture for your evolved self. We've measured this in our lab. When women practice these techniques, we see increased coherence between different parts of the brain. The prefrontal cortex starts talking to the emotional centers, the fear response in the amygdala calms down, new neural pathways start forming, pathways of power, not nice, but it gets even better. These new neural pathways actually create a new energy field around your body. Remember that electromagnetic signature we talked about? As your brain creates new patterns, your energy field becomes stronger, more coherent. You're literally changing your relationship with the quantum field, the field of all possibilities. This isn't just theory. We've seen women completely transform their neural patterns in as little as 4 days when they understand and apply these principles. Your brain is waiting to be rewired. The quantum field is waiting to respond to your new choices. The only question is, are you ready to make this change at the level of your neurons? You now understand how your brain is wired and how the quantum field works. But knowledge without action is just information. I'm going to teach you exactly how to break these patterns in real time. This is what I call the breaking point process, the exact moment when you choose power over nice. First, you need to recognize your patterns in real time. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Your body is giving you signals every time you're about to fall into the nice trap. That tightness in your stomach, that's your body's wisdom. The slight catch in your breath, that's your power trying to speak. The tension in your shoulders, that's your authentic self saying no. Let me tell you about Rachel, a corporate lawyer who came to my workshop. She had what she called her nice girl smile, an automatic response that appeared whenever someone demanded something from her. We taught her to use this smile as her wake-up call. The moment she felt that fake smile forming, she knew she was at her breaking point, the moment of conscious choice. Here's your first practical step. When someone makes a request, pause. Create what I call a quantum pause. This isn't just taking a breath. It's creating a space in the quantum field where new possibilities can emerge. Count to 5 in your head. Feel your feet on the ground. This simple act interrupts the automatic nice response and activates your prefrontal cortex. Second step, in that pause, scan your body. Rate your authentic response on a scale of 1 to 10. If it's anything less than an 8, it's a no. This isn't about being mean. It's about being truthful. Your body never lies. The energy doesn't lie. When you're aligned with your truth, your energy field expands. When you're forcing yourself to be nice, it contracts. Third step, redirect your energy. Most women leak energy through excessive explaining and apologizing. From this moment on, you're going to practice what I call energy conservation. No more explaining your no. No more apologizing for your boundaries. No more giving away your power through excess words. Here's the exact language pattern. That doesn't work for me. Full stop, no explanation, no apology, no softening. Feel how different that is in your body compared to, I'm so sorry, but I just don't think I can, because in our advanced workshops, we use biofeedback equipment to measure what happens in the body when women use these different language patterns. When they use the nice girl pattern, all the explanations and apologies, their stress hormones spike and their heart rate variability drops. But when they use the power pattern, their nervous system calms down, their energy field strengthens, their brain waves shift from beta stress patterns to alpha coherence. Fourth step, reclaim your energy. After each boundary you set, each no you say, each time you choose power over nice, take a moment to feel the energy returning to your body. Place your hand on your solar plexus, right here in your power center. Feel the warmth, the aliveness. This isn't just a metaphor. You're literally reclaiming the electromagnetic energy you've been giving away. Remember Maria from earlier? She used these exact steps to transform her life. The first time she used the power pattern at work, she felt physically ill. That's how strong her nice programming was. But she kept practicing. Within 3 months, her chronic fatigue was gone. Within 6 months, her chronic fatigue was gone. Within a year, she had doubled her income and ended a toxic relationship, all from learning to break the pattern at the breaking point. Breaking patterns isn't enough. You need to become someone new, someone who doesn't even remember how to be nice at the cost of her power. This is where the science of identity transformation comes in. I'm going to teach you how to install your future self into your neural circuitry. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an experience that's happening now and one that's vividly imagined. This is the key to creating what I call memories of the future. Right now, your brain has memories of being nice, of playing small, of putting others first. We're going to create new memories of your future self, who stands in her power. Close your eyes for a moment. I want you to step into the energy field of the woman you're becoming. See her clearly. Feel how she moves through the world. Notice how her energy field radiates power without apology. This isn't visualization. This is creating new neural networks in real time. In our advanced workshops, we measure brain activity during this process. When someone truly steps into their future self, their brain waves shift from beta to gamma frequency. The pineal gland activates, the heart field expands. You're literally broadcasting a new electromagnetic signature into the quantum field. Think about Jennifer, one of our participants, who came to us as a chronic people pleaser. During our identity installation process, she connected with her future self, a woman who moved through the world with unshakable certainty in her worth. She spent 15 minutes each morning inhabiting this future self before she even got out of bed. Within weeks, her colleagues started treating her differently. Why? Because she was broadcasting a different energy signature. This isn't pretending. This is neural reformation at the deepest level. Every time you step into this future self, you're building new synaptic connections. You're creating new neural networks that support this evolved identity. You're literally becoming someone new. Remember, the quantum field responds to who you're being, not who you've been. When you consistently broadcast the energy signature of your powerful future self, the field has no choice but to reorganize around this new pattern. This is how you make the impossible possible. This is how you break free from the nice girl identity forever. Knowledge isn't power. Practice is power. I'm going to give you the exact daily practices that will rewire your brain from nice to powerful. These aren't just exercises, they're neural reformation protocols that will literally change your brain's chemistry. The first hour of your day is crucial. Before you check your phone, before you respond to anyone else's needs, you're going to do what I call the power protocol. Start with 5 minutes of coherent breathing. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. This balances your autonomic nervous system and creates the perfect state for neural rewiring. Next, you'll do the energy field activation. Place your hands on your power center right here at your solar plexus. Feel the warmth building. Now expand that energy field 3 feet in front of you, 3 feet behind you, 3 feet to each side. This is your new energetic boundary. In our research, we've found that women who practice this daily show measurable changes in their electromagnetic field within just 2 weeks. Then comes the emotional rehearsal. This is where you're going to practice feeling the emotions of your powerful future self. Choose 3 situations where you typically default to nice. Now rehearse them in your mind while feeling the emotions of power, clarity, and unshakable worth. Remember, your brain can't tell the difference between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. One of our students, Amanda, used to panic every time her boss called her into his office. She'd automatically slip into people-pleasing mode. After practicing the emotional rehearsal for 21 days straight, Her response completely changed. Her brain had literally created new neural pathways for confidence and self-advocacy. Finally, you'll do the identity meditation. This isn't about relaxing, it's about becoming. Sit straight, eyes closed, and for 7 minutes, embody your future self. Feel how she carries herself. Experience how she responds to challenges. Let every cell in your body vibrate at the frequency of this evolved woman. Your homework? Practice these protocols every single morning for the next 30 days. No excuses, no exceptions. Remember, the quantum field responds to consistency. Your neural networks reshape themselves through repetition. This is how you make the impossible possible. Your no is a direct transmission of your personal power. Every time you say no to what's not aligned, you're saying yes to your evolution. This isn't about being difficult. It's about being sovereign in your energy field. Let me tell you about Catherine, a senior executive who came to our workshop. She was saying yes to every project, every meeting, every request. Her energy field was so depleted we could measure the disruption with our equipment. Then she learned what I'm about to teach you, the quantum power of no. Here's the secret. No is a complete energy field. It doesn't need explanation, justification, or softening. When you add words to your no, you're actually weakening its energetic impact. Think about it. When you say, no, I'm sorry, I wish I could, but you're literally dispersing your power through excess word. Try this right now. Put your hand on your power center and say no. Feel how your energy field instantly strengthens. Feel how your nervous system settles into coherence. That's what a powerful no feels like in your body. In our advanced research, we've discovered that women who master the art of no-show increase gamma wave activity in their brains. Their heart rate variability improves. Their stress hormones normalize. They're literally rewiring their neural pathways for power rather than pleasing. Catherine started practicing what we call the Power No Protocol. Simple, direct, energetically aligned no's. Within 3 months, her productivity doubled. Her migraines disappeared. Her team's performance improved. Why? Because she was no longer leaking her power through the 1,000 tiny yeses that didn't align with her truth. Remember, every no to what's not aligned is a yes to your evolution. Your no is your power. Your no is your freedom. Your no is your future self emerging. And so many people will get no's to the good. You're sitting here right now with new neural networks forming in your brain. The quantum field around you is already beginning to shift. Your nice girl neural patterns are weakening and your power circuits are strengthening. This isn't just inspiration. This is biological transformation happening in real time. Think about everything you've learned. You understand how your brain created the nice girl pattern through years of conditioning. You've seen how this pattern is stored, not just in your neurons, but in your very DNA. You know the price you've paid in your health, your career, your relationships, your energy field, but most importantly, you now have the exact tools to change it all. Remember the breaking point process, that quantum pause that interrupts the automatic nice response? Remember the energy field activation that strengthens your electromagnetic signature? Remember the Power No Protocol that conserves your life force? These aren't just techniques. They're neural reformation technologies. Let me tell you about Sandra, who integrated everything you've learned today. She came to us broken by niceness, depleted by people-pleasing. 1 year later, she's running her own company. Her autoimmune condition is in remission. Her energy field is so strong we can measure it 3 feet outside her body. She's not just surviving, she's causing an effect in the quantum field. This is your moment of choice. Right here, right now. You can feel it in your body, that knowing that it's time to stop being nice and start being powerful. Your future self is not some distant possibility. She's right here in this room, in your energy field, in your neural circuits, waiting to emerge. Take a breath with me right now. Place your hand on your power center. Feel the energy building. This is your power rising. This is your authentic self emerging. This is your future self becoming present tense. Starting tomorrow morning, you're going to do the power protocol. You're going to practice the emotional rehearsal. You're going to strengthen your energy field. You're going to say no to what's not aligned. You're going to choose power over nice every single time. Your brain is rewiring itself right now. Your genes are changing their expression. Your energy field is expanding. The quantum field is responding to your new choice. This isn't just change, this is evolution. Remember Sarah from the beginning of our day? She's now running a 7-figure business, teaching other women how to step into their power. Remember Maria with her chronic fatigue? She's now leading international workshops on energy mastery. Remember Rebecca with her generational patterns? She's broken the cycle, not just for herself, but for her daughters and their daughters. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your evolution. The nice girl era ends today. Your power era begins now. Step into it. Claim it. Become it. The quantum field is waiting for your choice.